some bigger maps. If you go to map 3, it's the Albuquerque Fire Department 4-minute rescue response capabilities. Again, everything in green is where we are currently meeting the NFPA standard on response time. Everything in red is where we are falling short. If you turn to map 4, this is Albuquerque Fire Department 8-minute rescue response current capabilities. Everything in blue is where we are meeting the current NFPA standard. Those items in red are where we fall short. On map 5 is the current Albuquerque Fire Department 8-minute ladder response times. Everything in blue is where we are currently meeting our response times. Everything in red is where we are falling short of the NFPA standard 1710. Go with me to map 6. Map 6 is Albuquerque Fire Department's 8-minute current battalion chief commander response capabilities. Everything in blue is where our battalion commanders are able to get to calls within the 8-minute response time. Those areas in red are where we fall short of the NFPA standard. Map 7 is a little different. Map 7 is in reference to OSHA's 8-minute 2-in, 2-out response capabilities. Everything in blue is where we meet that response. The OSHA 2-in, 2-out law, and it is a law for the state of New Mexico because New Mexico is an OSHA state. It states that anytime you go into an IDLH environment or a hazardous environment that you have to have 2 persons waiting outside while you have 2 people inside. If you notice, there's a lot of this area that's blue, and that's a good thing because right now currently AFD runs with 4-person engine companies. So at any fire suppression call that we do go to, we have 2 persons that can wait outside and 2 persons that can go inside, so we do meet the OSHA standard. Map 8. Map 8 is a full fire dispatch for the Albuquerque Fire Department, 8-minute, and it's the 1710 standard. Everything in blue is where we can get a full fire first alarm dispatch to in the 8-minute NFPA standard, and that in red is where we fall short. Now, if you flip your book to map 9, we are now covering the Bernalillo County Fire Department. And I just want to be clear here that while you see a lot of red, and those are the areas that we are not meeting the NFPA standard, it is not the fault of the fire department. This is what we currently respond to. The areas in green, that's where we respond to, and we are second to none in our responses, both Albuquerque Fire Department and the Bernalillo County Fire Department. What we're saying is there's a lot of red there, and it's important. What we want to show is the lack of coverage and why we can't sustain any staff reduction whatsoever in either department. By satisfying the national standard, we can put more green on these maps. You can turn to map 10, please. Map 10 is Bernalillo County Fire Department's 8-minute ladder responses. Currently, they have no ladders on the east side of the county. That's a huge concern. There's a lot of red there. Go to map 11, Bernalillo County Fire Department 8-minute response rescue times. Everything in blue, again, is what they are meeting response times with. Everything in red is where they're falling short per NFPA standard 1710. Map 12 is the Bernalillo County Fire Department 8-minute OSHA 2-in, 2-out. On map 12, you can see what's in blue is where we're meeting the standard, and what's in red is where we are not meeting the standard. Finally, map 13. It's Bernalillo County Fire Department 8-minute NFPA 1710 current response capabilities. Everything that's in blue is where they can meet a full dispatch to within the 8-minute 1710 response time. Everything in red is where they cannot. If you could please go back to page 9, I'd like to cover the recommendations. The recommendations as by the International Association of Firefighters. Number 1, all fire suppression units in the city of Albuquerque and Bernalillo County should be staffed with 4 firefighters at all times. Additional engine companies are needed in the following areas of the city of Albuquerque in order to achieve improved engine coverage: southeast of Station 15, southeast of Station 20, northwest of Station 18, southwest of Station 17, and south of Station 14. Additional ladder companies are needed in the following areas of the city of Albuquerque in order to achieve improved ladder coverage: Station 9 or Station 8 and Station 14. Additional battalion commanders are needed in the following areas of the city of Albuquerque in order to achieve improved coverage: Station 9, Station 27, and Station 14. An additional fire station should be built and staffed with a full-time engine near I-40 and Old Route 66. This station will provide services to the communities along I-40. In regards to Bernalillo County, additional ladder companies are needed on the east side of Bernalillo County, and additional brush trucks and water tenders are needed within the Bernalillo County as the county has a water supply problem. If you could turn with me to page 86. And this is finally final portion of my recommendations, or I'm sorry, of the IAFF's recommendation. It is strongly recommended that Bernalillo County and the city of Albuquerque cooperate and adjust their dispatch procedures to ensure maximum efficiency of resources and improve performances. I'll go ahead and open up to questions, ma'am, if you have.
Thank you very much. Councilor Gardino?
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you very much for the presentation. You know, your last statement and this last recommendation that you just talked about is something that we've been talking about for many years, certainly since the 5 years that I've been on council. I was on the Bernalillo County City Committee. Back then, we talked about dispatch. We talked about why it was that we needed that and why we needed coordination, if nothing else. And it seems like, if anything, we've spent a lot of time talking about it, and we yet to get to that point. Do you know what the sticking point is, or why we're not at that place?
I'll yield to Diego Arincourt.
Madam Chair, Councilor Garduño, I don't have an easy answer for you. It's something we, along with most involved, have been advocating for. My assumption is it revolves around our automatic aid agreement that we have yet to have a copy of.
And Madam President, one other question. In going through the maps, I noticed that a lot of the red areas, or what I guess understood were places that were not covered. It seems like invariably, and this is going to sound sort of self-serving, but a lot of the areas were in the Southeast Heights and around the airport, which I would think, and hopefully that'll be covered with Station 2. But I would hope that around the airport we would have best coverage. Anywhere else, not that any other place in the city is not as important, but just the kind of traffic, the kind of mishap that could happen in that area should be probably one of the more prominent areas to be covered. Do you know why over the years we haven't done that?
No, sir, I do not. However, I will point out that the GIS study is those areas in red. The GIS study is showing that we currently cannot make it there. However, I want to be clear, that doesn't mean that we've actually had a call in that area, because right now AFD in